My drama go-to is Chud Logic. I trust his opinion on drama that is worth looking at, and he openly recommended an accusation, an expose video, and he said more people need to look at it. I'm going to trust his judgment. We are going to look at it. Now, okay, my understanding is that this is going to be some sort of accusation of sexual impropriety between maybe a boss and employee, maybe someone and someone they commission or who's done work for them. I'm not entirely sure. People might see this thumbnail and immediately think, oh, it's too dramatic or something. It has to be false or anything. Let's start fair. Let's say someone fucked you over. Wouldn't you want to be like, I'm going to get payback. I'm going to crush them. I could see myself having that reaction. Okay? All right? On the other side of the coin, there's blue hair guilty. Fair. Longform reacts. If I think it would be worth it for a given example, I won't necessarily aim for it. If I'm gonna aim for the things that do the best, long shit people can put in the background, short, tight, condensed things. I'm not sure about like long, detailed, condensed things. I don't think that's worth doing for me. But maybe I'll try it and we'll see. Right. Is that Skeptic Greg? That doesn't look anything like Armored Skeptic. People were talking about Armored Skeptic in the Discord, weren't they? Is he doing some weird now? I know he had a rough time recently, but people were saying is he doing It looks like he's just doing the debunk stuff. These videos would go absolutely insane. I mean, it's got 33k views. There's more than any of my videos. But it's like he's doing stuff that would absolutely pop off in 2010. Strange. I didn't contact Dr. Lehman. I should try to. Short, tight, and condensed is what I call you? Yeah, condensed milk. Condensed boiled milk. Alright. Let's see. The description says, thank you, Hina. There's some sort of anime thing called Love Hina, right? Thank you, Hina, for telling your story and allowing me to help you do so. Got raw screenshots. We'll have some stuff to potentially look at. Savannah Marie is the channel. What does this person do normally? Top 10 multi-level marketing fails. Matt Rife downfall video. I presume that's multi-level marketing. Who the hell are these people? Okay, they do a bunch of exposed videos. And this is another one. My understanding is this includes some sort of significant accusation. We will see. We will see. Let's go. We're going in raw. I don't know who he is. Except that well, I know what he does on his channel. I know that Scammer Payback is one of these, like, scammer hunting channels. But I don't know any lore about him as a person.
November 12th, 2023. 7:21 a.m. I opened my...
God. He had a camera in her house just to look at her boobs as she was at the computer. I'm going in raw. I don't even know who he is. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Look, Bunny, she's covered up. You're not getting any excitement from this. I'm trying to be super fair about the thumbnail. The presentation is... You can't do a true crime style YouTube video about yourself. You can't do the stop.
November 12th, 2023.
Look how dusty it is.
7:21 a.m.
I'm aware that's probably dust against the green screen layered over or some sort of After Effects. But why would you do this? Do you live in a mushroom house? I feel like I'm playing on observation duty.
I opened my inbox to find an email addressed to me
There's
by
nails.
someone named Hina. It read,
Savannah. My name is Hina. I go by the pseudonym Dictionary. I used to work with scammer Payback,
Okay.
Pierogi, as their translator for approximately 2 years.
2 years of work.
I'm reaching out to you in the hopes of exposing a sexual predator that threatens to use his authority and connections to cover up his sexual deviancy. I'm worried for my safety.
This is, yeah, okay, pretty hardcore. A predator that makes explicit threats. This is, so we have it set. This isn't just the standard of, oh, I didn't feel like I could say no or anything. This person's claiming he explicitly threatens. Let's see, it's hype. Worried for their safety.
I started working for Pierogi around the time of this video. All video footage of the interactions between and scammer Payback were actually me being used as a thirst trap in order to gain information from the
Okay.
scammer, and this is also how I started working for scammer Payback as a live stream and video translator. A short time after working with him, it became clear that his intentions of our relationship were more than just professional, during which I was groomed by my boss.
When you say started working for, you're describing him as your boss. Were you actually an employee? What was your actual relationship? Was it money under the table? Or were you actually an employee?
And used as a sexual object. He
Used as a sexual object? Are you referring to being used as a thirst trap to get scammers? Or do you mean you were physically used by him? Or what?
to get drunk and message me all the time, asking me to get HKD high-key drunk with him. Eventually, this led to him asking for videos and nudes and poses to read.
Okay, got from them. Total ghosting. Ghosted, dang, 5 more minutes. It's cringe. It's cringe.
Sexual fantasies. I would like to add that he is married with children and his public image relies highly on him being a man with Christian values.
Okay, we have the most important part of this. Just do that then. Okay, I get what this is. I get what this is. You're kind of telling us that's what this is. Don't even pretend. Okay. Don't even pretend this is like, I'm going to keep people safe. He's so dangerous. Just be like, hey, this guy, he's actually a scumlord who cheats on his wife. That's fine. That's juicy.
I'm attaching some of the screenshots to this email. I have many more that include sexual images and propositions. These are the screenshots showing how obsessively he behaves and the fact that he would not take my silence as an answer. I'm from...
He would not take my silence as an answer. What a weird statement. Did you ever say, I don't want to talk to you? Especially considering, let's hop back slightly. We've already been shown, my apologies. Arrows go too far. Dot doesn't go far enough. I believe on the left. So he's saying it's 10. Oh man, not here. Ding ding ding. My dreams are shattered. Hello. He's messaging her a bunch. Wait. Where is it? There was one where she responded after a bunch. She was like, yes, hi, hello, I'm here. Mother.
Images and propositions. These are the screenshots showing how obsessively he behaves and the fact that he would not take my silence as an answer.
That's 1 minute 31.
Being used as a thirst
Let me go
trap
again.
to
Maybe I'm
translate.
demented. Maybe
A short
she never
time
responded.
after working with him, it became clear that his intentions of our relationship were more than just professional, during which I was groomed by my boss and used as a sexual object. He used to get drunk.
Something to pick up on again as well is a short time after working. So I don't know if she's just including that because it's true or to try and emphasize that it's bad or something, but that becoming clear earlier makes it less bad because you're less woven in. So there can totally be situations where you start working somewhere, you're sort of embedded, your life revolves around your job, and then your boss could start acting really fucking weird and threatening your cemented position. And you could be in a bad place. If it's like straight away you're doing some work for a YouTuber and they're flirting with you, That's a very different situation.
And messaged me all the time, asking me to get HKD
Not that I'd
high-key
do
drunk
that.
with him. Eventually, this led to him asking for videos and nudes and poses to
Hina.
reenact for his sexual
On the left. He's spammed a bunch at her, at least once, and she's responded.
fantasies. I would like to add that he is married with children and his public
Do we
image
have any
relies highly
example
on
of her
him
going
being a
like,
man
leave me
with
alone?
Christian values. I'm attaching some of the screenshots to this email. I have many more that include sexual images and propositions.
Okay.
These are the screenshots showing how obsessively he behaves and the
Right.
fact that he would not take my silence as an answer.
Would not take my silence as an answer. One of the examples you showed, he's spamming you, which is cringe and weird, potentially. If it also is connected to other messages we might see, that sets the tone. But when he does that, at least once you respond and say, I'm here. Right? If sometimes you do respond, why would he assume you not responding is deliberate? Maybe you're just a flake. Many times, will get like some messages, look at it, and I'll go, oh, I'll respond later. And then I forget they exist, and then the person has to message me again, and then I respond. I didn't intend for them to take my silence as an answer.
I'm from a third world country. I was getting paid in dollars, and not complying felt like it would jeopardize my job and source of income.
I'm from a third world country. So, jeopardize my job. Job and source of income. Were you an employee? Or were you just doing a gig? You say you have a salary. This stemmed from the fact he would usually pay my salary only after I complied. With what?
This stemmed from the fact that he would usually pay my salary only after I complied. Thank you for your time, Hina.
This was not the first time that I had ever heard Pierogi's name. I've actually been consuming scam baiting content for years now, and I would consider myself a very big fan of the genre. But if you don't know who Pierogi is, allow me to introduce you. Pierogi
Is that a real person, or did an AI just crawl astrology YouTube?
is the alias of this man who runs the YouTube channel called Scammer
I
Payback.
love the effects!
The scam baiting genre has a lot of heavy hitters, but Scammer Payback having over
You can do all these effects, but you have never heard of anti-aliasing. Okay, nice. Nice shoulder jaggies.
7 million subscribers on YouTube is arguably one of the most popular ones.
Glitch.
Perhaps the most important thing I want you to take from watching this video is
Get ready, prepare to absorb it. The most important thing.
that I do not want you, nor do I expect you to immediately end your support of Scammer Payback because of this video. While
It's fine. I don't watch his stuff. I'm just aware of his existence. Okay.
Scammer Payback did originally start with Pierogi, it has since evolved to be an entity that employs many people. There are employees of this company who rely on Scammer Payback for their livelihood, and
I was very surprised when she said that at first, but I get it. This is one of the oust to the originals thing, right?
be remiss to say that, oh, they don't even do that great of work, because Scammer Payback does amazing work. They have helped victims of these scams by recouping their losses or even stopping the scam before it even gets to the point where the scammer can access the victim's bank account in the first place. Scammer Payback has helped a lot of people. It has helped bring widespread awareness to the topic, and the channel has made a positive impact on the entire world.
What if they stand behind the individual
This video
guy,
is
though?
not some kind of hit piece against Scammer Payback, and I don't want to.
It is, though, especially considering even just considering the part where it's like, he also gets by on his image as a good Christian man who is married. How does that make him a threat to anyone? What relevance does that have other than image? That's an attack on image that has nothing to do with keeping the people around him safe or the people he works with safe.
see the channel lose its audience because of the actions of Pierogi. They do really important and impactful work, and
which to be fair, by the way, is fine. If it's all true, fine, that part.
I would never dream of taking that away from them. This video is about Pierogi as a person, not Scammer Payback.
To be clear, so Durka asks, what third world country is this clearly American woman from? This isn't the person making the allegation. This is the person who is presenting it for the person who made the allegation to her via email.
So please don't send any hate, bullying, harassment, anything like that to anyone involved in the situation. While we're out here giving disclaimers, this video is not meant to defame or slander Pierogi. Definitely
no copyright intended. I'm going to upload a Marvel film, and if I just write no copyright intended in the description, it's fine. I don't... Yeah.
Defamation and slander would require that I am knowingly spreading false information about him, and I would not be making this video if I were not 100% convinced by the evidence that I will be sharing with you today. The rest of whatever I say here is strictly my own opinion and my own personal interpretation of the situation. And
Dude, defamation and slander... When you're determining whether a person knew better... Is it just... So, like, if a retard believes something that's obviously false and spreads lies, but you determine because they're a retard, they believed it was real, how much does that matter? I don't know about the legal system very much. Is there any sort of reasonable person standard when it comes to slander or defamation in the US?
I also recognize that other people might interpret things differently than me. Personally, though, I do believe everything that Hina has told me. Hina even allowed me access into her private Discord account to verify this relationship between her and Pierogi for myself. She did, in fact, have an extensive history with Pierogi in the form of thousands of Discord DMs with him that took a very long time to get to the top while I was scrolling through them. I was also able to confirm that this Discord account that she claimed to be Pierogi was actually attached to his YouTube and Twitch channels. That all being said, this is all still anecdotal, and while there are many screenshots and screen recordings to back up Hina's claims, those screenshots did come from Discord channels that were constantly being recreated and then deleted over and over again.
Okay, so you've verified some sort of massive amount of communication, but other evidence is just in the form of screenshots because it's on channels. It's on Discord. Yeah, they're called channels on Discord that are channels within the server. So like the sub chat rooms that have been deleted and remade. Hopefully, she will make it clear what she personally verified through access to the account, and what is one of these screenshot-only unverified examples.
Only evidence of the existence of this specific Discord channel/channels that we'll be profiling here are in the...
I find it weird as well that she says it's anecdotal. Well, if what he did is, let's say, an inappropriate message, and you verified it, what do you mean that's anecdotal evidence?
Form of Hina's screen recordings and screenshots. The screenshots that Hina sent at first were intriguing, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was looking at or what any of the screenshots meant. So obviously I responded to Hina's email and
that is weird. Was she talking to him and he was writing back? Let's place our bets.
Shortly after, we were connected on Discord.
I want to know why you reached out to me specifically to help you, because I know that you have some contacts and stuff. What made you reach out to me?
I liked how objective you were, right? You weren't really siding with one person, you weren't giving both sides. And that's something that I really wanted in the way.
Sorry, I'm the victim of a sexual predator. I feel like I'm in danger from him. The reason I came to you is because I think you'll just be objective and, won't really take a side. What?
way I released it. Secondly, if someone knows me, obviously people can go like, oh, they know her, they're just siding with her.
I spent the past few months really just debating on whether or not I even wanted to take something on of this magnitude. But ultimately we ended up here because I feel like, in my
We're 6.5 minutes in and it absolutely stinks. Reminder, the email this person was sent by the lady they were just talking to said that she needs to make her aware of a sexual predator who makes her feel unsafe, like she is in danger as she's writing that email.
opinion, Hina deserves justice. Pierogi deserves to be held accountable. And I think that there's a lot that humanity as a whole can learn from
Thank you,
this
Berna.
situation. And hopefully
Everyone fire off a salvo, please. I'm going to have a seizure. I need to listen to that again.
I spent the past few months really just debating on whether or not I even
I'm sorry, like I can feel a vein in my brain swelling, like I'm going to have an aneurysm. If I actually heard that right, I'm going to die.
wanted to take something on of this magnitude.
Of
But
this magnitude. It's a YouTuber. Like even if he like physically assaulted her,
ultimately we ended up here because I feel like, in my opinion, Hina deserves justice. Pierogi deserves to be held accountable. And I think that there's a lot that humanity as a whole can learn from.
all of mankind, all 8 million of us. Phew. Sorry, 8 billion. Sorry, I didn't mean 8 million. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no. As a reptilian, I exposed how few of the people on Earth are actually humans. There are only 8 million humans. There are only 8 million humans.
From this situation, and hopefully it will improve workplace relationships
Trillion, whatever, dude, chill.
somewhere, somehow, moving forward. There are two sides to every
8 quadrillion. All 8 Googleplex humans on Earth.
story, and what we're about to hear is Hina's side. I pride myself on being able to hear out both parties, to hear every side of every story, but Pierogi did not give me that opportunity, despite me exhausting literally every avenue I had to contact him. I sent a DM to his Instagram, which went straight to his message requests, never to be seen again. And since Instagram and Facebook are both owned by Meta, I couldn't send like another message on Facebook because it just
Is she gonna read it
went
out?
to the same place as
Hang
the
on.
first message I sent on Instagram. I went to X, where I found that his
Right. Let's read what she messaged him. Hold up. Hi, Pierogi. Hina reached out to me for help exposing you. By the way, Hina said she came to this person because she believed she wouldn't take a side. She'd be a super objective judge. Right. Hi, Pierogi. Hina reached out to me for help exposing you. And I will be making a video about it. I know about the HKD Discord channels, and she has screenshots and screen recordings of a few of them before you deleted them. I've been sent an entire Google Drive, and I've been able to verify the validity of, not authenticity, just validity, okay, of these screenshots/recordings by logging into Hina's Discord account and seeing your DMs for myself. That all being said, you and I know how you abused the power dynamic between the two of you. Based on everything I've seen, you were someone paying her salary, and she felt obligated to comply with your advances because she wanted to please her boss. And you asked him what? What would he reply to that? Nice BPD. Thanks for your message. I would not respond to that. Personally. Lol, perhaps.
I went to X, where I found that his DMs were turned off. I couldn't DM him on Discord because he has it set to only accept messages from people who had servers in common with him. My only other option was email. He has 2 email addresses listed on his YouTube account, one for business inquiries and one for their tip line. I sent an
True! Did Hina ask to be... Well, I mean, Hina's happy to appear in this video. So it doesn't line up with her saying she's afraid. But she doesn't seem to want anonymity. Also, thank you for the Prime sub, Kirnoth. Greatly appreciated. There's also... It could... I mean, strategically, Savannah missed an opportunity. If it's believed this might be a pattern of behavior, if she just vaguely tells him that there's an accusation from someone about impropriety, if it's just Hina, he'll know it's Hina. He might potentially let slip something that would let you know that there are others if you're correct. Right? You are losing. And you might not want to approach it like that if you're trying to be, totally impartial. I'm just a truth finder. This is not someone just looking for the truth, considering what she wrote. So why not use the strategy of keeping things relatively vague? You can also ask for a response instead of just... Why would he even think she wants a response from him? Or he also has no reason to think responding would be meaningful in any way or to any benefit.
An email to both of them. I then had Hina send Pierogi a Discord message since she had already been in contact with him through...
I had the victim who told me she's scared message him.
DMs, and he responded promptly. This is how that conversation went.
P, I need to have a serious conversation with you. Please let me know whenever you have time.
What is this This is just mental illness, the YouTube video. Like, he might turn out to be a freak. Like, he might be a freak. Alright? Maybe there will be something we see that shows, oh, he's a freak. However, whether he's a freak or not, these 2 women are dementoids.
How goes it?
Yay. Would you be able to do a quick voice chat, or would you rather I...
Yay? Sorry. Trying to catch the man who you claim sexually preyed upon you and makes you feel unsafe. Sup. Yay! Wahoo! Wahoo! You raped me!
type it out?
Yeah, type it out because I'm pretty slammed, sorry.
Okay, well, I wanted to be the one to let you know since I still consider you my friend, regardless of everything.
I still consider my sexual predator that I'm afraid of to be my friend. Excuse me?
Savannah Marie.
You could potentially argue that this is strategic so that he won't run away so you can get information out of them, but Savannah was already very blunt.
Will be contacting you shortly via email. Please do read it. It's very important for me. Please.
What is that?
Please?
Well, she sent the email. Read it and you'll know. Just know that I do and will always consider you my friend.
What do you mean?
Demented cat. This is insane. You know what? It's very good that this video was made and people are in danger. Anyone who works with this Hina chick is in danger. Get away! Get away!
I wanted you to hear this from me first, since I respect you and I really want you to be able to give your comment. I'm exposing you for workplace sexual harassment.
Ah! Holy fuck. I respect you, sexual harasser. I respect you, Mr. What mental illness is this? Is this cluster B?
After that last message, silence.
One of
Neither
those
myself
ones?
or Hina have heard anything from Pierogi since then.
No shit! Why the hell would he respond? Why would he?
Needless to say, he knows this is happening. He has knowledge of this video being created. And he had every opportunity to provide a statement to me or even defend himself. Not even to me. He could have just talked to Hina if he wanted to. It's been over a week and I've...
Don't talk to crazy online. He did the right thing. He shouldn't have talked to her before this. There's no way he couldn't tell she was insane. To be fair, there is no way there were no signs before this.
I've been expecting a cease and desist letter or some sort of legal correspondence, but I have heard absolutely nothing. Some might say,
yeah, you're a crazy person on the internet. Why?
That this is just him playing it smart. But in my opinion, his silence is a statement in and of itself. The email I
yeah, you're crazy. I'm not talking to you. You're right.
Sent to him was basically just like, hey, Hina is going to be exposing you for sexual harassment in the workplace. Here's your opportunity to speak to me on the situation, to provide a statement, etc. Please respond, basically.
No.
Literally, I just wanted
to
give him the chance to give me a statement. That was the...
I don't think it's even been established that she was an employee. She did translation stuff. Was she just someone he'd message and say, hey, I need this translated? Hey, can I use your picture to bait scammers?
Extent
Here's
of my
compensation.
intentions in
was the
reaching out to
relationship?
him in the first place. So he absolutely has knowledge of my attempts to contact him, and I have not heard from him. I think part of that is probably because I didn't even initially tell him exactly what Hina had sent me, what evidence I had, etc. So he didn't want to further implicate himself by essentially admitting to something I had no proof of. After
there was no chance of him doing that the way you... It's true. She specified the names of Discord channels where stuff allegedly occurred. There was no chance of him accidentally incriminating himself with how precise you were. He just has to not mention anything but what you mentioned. But also, is she genuinely completely unaware of how insane her approach looks?
After all, I'm a very small channel, all things considered. He might just be banking on the story not gaining any traction. And we all should know by now that the number one rule to dealing with drama, if you want to call it that, on the internet is just to not respond. Because by responding, you're essentially creating the Streisand effect, bringing more attention to the situation. If you ignore the drama,
drawing attention to something isn't the Streisand effect. The Streisand effect is when you try to hide something and that leads to it getting more attention. You don't have to bring up the Streisand effect. You could just say that it brings more attention to it. It's different, but it's fine. I get what she's saying. Overall, what she's saying about the best strategy for dealing with drama probably is true. I say this. If some mental case accuses you of something, don't post less videos. Unless you're absolutely backed into addressing it for some reason, post more videos. Give the people who like you, haha, funny entertainment. Give them more of what they want, they won't care. That's true. But I don't think that's what's happening in this case. I don't think he's trying to avoid attention. I think he wants to get away from crazy people.
drama 9 times out of 10.
He could be a monster, though. We might see evidence that he's some kind of monster. Could happen. Two things can be true. Two things can be true. The Tim strat for avoiding his accusations. Anytime there's more than 2 videos in a week uploaded from me, it means I've actually assaulted someone. You didn't hear about it? My strategy works.
10, it just kind of fades into obscurity. And I think he's taking his chances on that one. If no one really hears about this, does he even need to address it? The allegations go farther than just...
No. Correct, yes. That's why the strategy is considered to be an effective one.
harassment in the workplace. One accusation, for instance, would be that this should be, and probably is considered by many, to be cheating on his wife. And this is all assuming that Pierogi and his wife are not in an open relationship. I can...
Wait, you didn't even... Not a hit piece. He's a cheater! He's a cheater, cheater, cheater! Yeah, that's straight up drama. juicy, fun, funny. I'm fine with that content. Do that. But if you're going to say it's not a hit piece, why have that come up so many times at this point?
Considered this. It was actually one of the first questions I asked Hina, and she pretty much shut it down right away. According to her, Pierogi is openly religious, and his wife is even more dedicated to Christianity than he is. It would be shocking and unusual to hear that Pierogi and his wife had agreed upon having an open relationship, and that his wife was...
Sorry, we're seeing this stuff about him being a cheater before we've seen anything sexual between them. This isn't just... Even if it turns out to be nothing, this is just poor presentation. This is just ineffective presentation.
Was aware of his relationship with Hina. Not that it's any of our business, but he could have at least easily shut down any accusations of cheating by saying, like...
Not that it's any of our business, but I would like a statement, and I'm going to make a video where that's the point that's been repeated the most.
Wife knows about Hina. We're in an open relationship. Bye. Peace out. But he didn't do that. He didn't give me that. And that is one thing that I was hoping to get clarification on, so that that didn't end up being part of the conversation. Even if he said that and it wasn't true, he could have just shut down that specific accusation right away and then addressed it and handled it privately with his family without any of us knowing, because it really ultimately is none of our business. So I'm saying all this because I acknowledge that this dynamic may be at play here and we have no way of knowing. Even though I personally believe that...
Why are you trying to keep some sort of... Just be like a juicy drama video? Why are you trying to have this facade of being a sterile, calculated, objective investigator? Oh, by the way, he's probably cheating on his wife. It's none of our business, but let's talk about it for 20 minutes. What are you doing? That's not fun. Just lean into it.
It is a small likelihood that that would be the case. Anyway, I know this has kind of been a long introduction here, but I figured the best way to present this story is to let Hina just tell it for herself using my platform. So the following interview is Hina's side of the story. I will provide evidence on screen where necessary, but ultimately, please don't take anything from this video as anything more than anecdote. While I honestly don't believe that there are other people right now in similar situations with Pierogi specifically, you know, I definitely think that Hina is the only one. I still feel like this...
Am I losing it? Something being an anecdote doesn't mean it's a lie. Anecdotes are personal experiences, and the problem with anecdotal evidence is that it can't be applied more broadly to something else. Yes? Am I losing it? If she's like, oh, he said this thing to me, here's the message, I verified it, I went into her account and verified that this message was sent to her by his registered account connected to his Twitch that only he could have done. Remember that this isn't evidence, this is an anecdote, but that's not what it means.
Video is important to publish because of the admittedly unlikely possibility that there could be others who are too scared to speak out and lose their jobs with Scammer Payback. Even if it's just a 1% chance that there's another person out there, it's worth it to me. And we would be silly not to consider the possibility that if none of this got brought to light now, you know, what is the possibility that Pierogi could go hire a new translator, a female translator, and then end up pursuing a similar relationship with that person?
Your theory is that he specifically gets off on abusing translators.
I hope that this video prevents that from happening. If it hasn't already, I don't think it has. But on the slim chance that there are others, I hope that this also gives them the bravery to speak out. Also, one last thing, sorry that the recording of the interview is a little bit choppy. I think my graphics card needs replacing. It's been giving me issues lately, so the video is not perfect, but ultimately the audio is what matters the most. So anyway, Here's Hina.
Hi, my name is Hina. I go online by the name Dictionary.
The dictionary thing. You told me the story before, but do you want to explain how you got that name?
This is like a talk show interview, not like an interview of a victim. You go into the police station, you're like, I was brutally raped by my uncle. And they're like, so you like playing video games? Oh, you stream on Twitch? Oh, what's the latest Pokemon game like? Is that any good? Please say it to the camera. What is this?
Well, there was like a live stream going on and I was translating in the background and the scammer suddenly went like, hey, do you have a dictionary next to you or something? Like, how are you constantly able to tell what I'm saying to you? So I just took the name from there. He was like, yeah, I have a dictionary. So I became Dictionary.
You are the dictionary. What is life for you like? How did having this job with Pierogi improve your living situation over there?
My life was pretty difficult before, but I'm not going to say it was to the point it is now. Financially, it was like I had to work really hard. I had to work really long hours to earn the money,
Right.
as opposed to when I started working with Scammer Payback. After I started working with Scammer Payback in the beginning, the money was pretty good. It was, I think I started with $750. That was a decent amount of money for me. That meant I didn't have to like budget control everything.
You had some
Right. Is that you're employed and that's your wage? Or did he pay you $750 for a particular translation gig and he regularly comes to you? By the way, I apologize for the alert not showing up. It may still come, but thank you very much to the grantor for the $5. It should pop up still. It should pop up. It can just take a while.
disposable.
The grantor fed the streamer a $5 superberry. She said it herself, don't take it any more than an anecdote. So it's not an exposed video, it's clickbait. These people don't stop, they live for it.
I think she's just trying to rigidly cover herself.
Disposable income.
Actually, you know what? In the end, it wasn't disposable income because it ended up being spent on booze. The beginning, it was a really nice thing to have, you know.
It wasn't expendable income because it ended up being spent on booze? I can't comprehend what she just said. Does she mean she was such an alcoholic? Aren't there alcoholics who, if they suddenly stop drinking, the withdrawal kills them? What do you mean? You had you had medically necessary alcohol consumption? I know it can get to that point, but I don't think she's saying that. What do you mean? I don't have any disposable income. It all goes to my beer bill. What the does this mean? Explain. Explain immediately. Or minus 10 points to belief.
A bit of wiggle room.
Something I want you to keep in mind while listening to Hina talk about this is that she is from a very poor part of the world. While the money that she made working for Scammer Payback would be considered insignificant here in America, this salary was far more than the average income of most working people in the country she lives in.
You know what? This is based. This is incredibly based. Do you want to know why? I agree. That's an abusive relationship. It should be illegal to outsource work from your home country because that creates an elevated level of dependence and robs third world workers of their agency by giving them so much money and making them so beholden to you. You know what? That's right. You don't even need to be sexually abusing them or anything. Just offering them that money makes them so dependent on you. They aren't wild ducks. She is! She is!
Life-changing money here. That's money that doctors earn here once they're in their mid-30s.
According to World Salary.
Alternative argument for you, okay? If you find that too disrespectful, okay, to people, if you think humans have a basic level of dignity above behaving like birds after you feed them in your garden, you shouldn't do it because like her get paid when you do. How's that? Is that a better argument?
Salaries.com, the average monthly income of an individual person working in her country in 2024 is
I can just search the amount. I can find this exact page, my friend. You've also told us what the currency is.
81,925 rupees, which converts to $293.45 USD. Hina started working for Pierogi at a monthly salary of $725, and eventually that got raised to $1,000. Hina was making more than triple the amount of money that everyone else around her was making. The average monthly income of a working class person in America is about $6,200, which sounds insanely high to me, right?
Yeah. Right. They're going to try to make the case that she was sort of enraptured by wealth. Oh, he gave me everything. They'll probably try and parallel this to like love bombing that an abuser might do. However, that she had so much money for where she lives works against the real argument. How you might get entrapped by an abuser is that you do not have the ability to save money and get away. Right? You're trapped. You rely on them. You can't transition to doing something else because you're barely able to survive. If she's making that much money, you've presented us a situation where she could save and get away. You're presenting it as if him paying her that much gives him some control, but it does the opposite. It makes sure she'll have the means to break away.
Am I just poor? But anyway, imagine tripling that to $18,600 a month. How would that impact your quality of life? How would that change your life? How?
If my income quadrupled, my quality of life would stay the same, but my savings would drastically increase.
Would your life improve with that kind of income? And more specifically, what kind of things would you put up with in the workplace to continue making?
In the workplace. Stop. Unless she's flying to the US every day.
Making that amount of money. This is what Hina was faced with while working for Scammer Payback.
How did you end up meeting Pierogi?
So I was randomly browsing YouTube one day and I was really bored. I found this video and it was like about a scam baiter and it was the raging series that he had where the Indian scammers would rage. If I remember correctly,
the raging series where the scammers would rage.
Subscribed to his Patreon and joined his Discord server. And this is back before he reached...
Oh. I can't believe you abused him. He relies on you for money.
a million subs, so it was still like it was busy, but it was a more calm down server. That's how I got to kind of have casual conversations, and then eventually he needed help with a video, so I volunteered to help him get information on the scammer. Essentially, I thirst trapped a scammer boss for...
You volunteered. He didn't ask you. Okay. That might become important later.
A video. Basically, he posted on his Discord that he needed a Facebook account to add the scammer so that they could get access.
So it was a general request to anyone.
To the posts he was putting and stuff like that. So I added him and I told him that I know how to thirst trap and stuff. So I ended up getting a lot of...
She presented thirst trapping as one of her skills. This might be important because in the email, she talked about her being used as a sexual object. We don't know what specifically she referred to with that line, but she might be referring to her use as a thirst trap. In which case, we know now that that was something she volunteered herself as being an expert in doing. Just
information from the scammer, a lot more than anyone thought I'd be able to get.
Yeah, can you talk about that experience a little bit? Because I know that there's videos about this specific scammer that Pierogi made using the information you were able to get.
It took around 3 months overall. Not really the work put in, but just the time span was almost 3 months to get all the information. I would have like 2-3 hour WhatsApp calls with him.
Wow.
Video calls. I was like, oh, I want to see your house and stuff. So he went out, he showed me the apartment where he lived, he showed me the outside of everything. He introduced me to his friends. And eventually by the end, I kind of convinced him that I was into scamming too. I told him, oh, I'm going to give you a victim. And this is when Pierogi did his 1 million subscriber stream. Basically.
Yeah, Derek, don't worry. It was confusing because she talked about setting up a Facebook for him, and then they were talking about doing the work, and she said calling him. I thought it was Pierogi, but no. Obviously, it's the scammer.
Basically, he went online live. He took the call from the scammer. I started translating rapidly whatever the scammer was saying because they were speaking in Hindi and all of that. And he really liked that.
So he didn't pay you to thirst trap this scammer. That was a voluntary thing, right?
Yeah, it was a voluntary.
So how did that end up turning into a paycheck, a job?
I did the live translation then. I just started DMing Pierogi whatever I heard on the stream because I was tuning into the streams for a very long time. And after a couple of months, I just couldn't manage freelancing. I wasn't even freelancing. I was volunteering, translating at night and then going in the morning to work. It just wasn't feasible for me. So I told him that he should get either a new translator or, I need some compensation. So.
Right. Are we going to get to what their specific agreement was?
He offered to give me a job.
How long were you doing
actual employment,
the free translating before he ended up offering to pay you?
A couple of months.
Okay. Wow. I mean, that's a lot of free work to put into someone.
Yeah, that's why I was so reluctant to leave, because one of the things was I worked so freaking hard to get this job. Let's say I put 6 months of volunteer work in, right? I worked really hard. I proved myself to them, right? Every time I think about quitting, I'd be like, I have to prove myself all over again to another person. I have to show them that I'm worthy. And
you did the grind. You sort of dug out a niche for yourself. You created the job by providing a helpful thing for free, and then it's like, yeah, if you want this to keep going, you hit him with your free trial is over.
That is so much time and effort. Do I still have that in me? I don't know, because I'm still kind of collecting myself after everything that's happened.
How often was he streaming? Like how many times a week, let's say, were you translating for him?
When I started off, he would stream almost daily, maybe 4 streams a week or stuff like that. By the end, he barely streamed.
You've sent me screenshots, and obviously by the time this...
Right, and did that impact your income? Because if it did, that suggests it's essentially gig work and you're not an employee.
Comes out, you'll be...
What was the arrangement specifically?
A lot of them. So in a lot of those screenshots you sent me, you could see the Discord server that you guys were in called the SP Intel Hub. Who used that server? Was it just you and Pierogi?
Just Pierogi and I. We were the only people in that server.
Okay. And what did you guys...
I made it.
Oh, you made it. Okay. What did you guys use it for?
I was consistently messaging the translations in his DMs, right? So that's why I made the server, so that we could have we could have it more organized. So if he needs to go back for, let's say, video editing or to choose what part of the live stream to put in the video, he could just easily access it.
Yeah, and it was very organized. From the screenshots I saw, you guys had a lot of channels for translations and Bitcoin wallets and personal information on the scammers.
I did all of that.
This is when it's gonna start getting a little spicy. Would you like to explain what is HKD and what was the HKD Discord channel?
It was something drunk, yes?
/channels.
So basically, HKD or Haiku Drunk started off as just Pierogi and I being good friends and, having small conversations. I told him that HKD would...
The deleted user is presumably him. I'm not having the best day, yo. They aren't bugging me. Scammers don't piss me off. Yee! But whatever is causing it is showing on your face. As a friend, I'd say take a break. I feel backstabbed. It's a very lonely feeling. I know how it is, P. I'm here if you want to talk about it. You're not alone, you have friends. Even if it's just taking a shot and bitching. It's all good, just really tired of drama. And nobody knows it is impacting me now. All I hear is how I'm disappointing and hurting everyone else, lol.
It would be like a safe space where he can talk about whatever he wants to, and like we would forget, the channel will be deleted. And so he can just talk about whatever he wants, whatever's kind of to just relieve his stress, right? So we started with that, and eventually that led to me and him getting drunk and conversations kind of steering towards flirting and sexual kind of stuff.
Right.
Then he started asking for.
How many shots of FB have you had? See you in 12 hours, shots in hand. And for providing laughs and shots here and there. Well, let's do a shot. A shot. Did you say a shot? Yes, I shall do a shot. Doing shot for you. Another shot, Lego. Fireball shot.
Videos of me chugging for proof that I was actually chugging beer. I'm not good at handling alcohol at all, right? So
Wait, you said he forced you to drink over the internet? Come on. Right. Okay, let's watch a movie together this week. Shots and all. We can watch it with the Discord server too if you want. It'll be an Indian movie, but it'll be in English. Point is to understand the core culture. She thirst trapped him. She made him thirsty for beer. She, here in this message, is the one suggesting drinking together. I don't see him here. He says, let's do a shot. A shot? Did you say a shot? And he says, yes, I shall do a shot. Doing shot for you. And then she suggests watching a movie at some point that week and doing shots. She suggested doing more. She was like, let's do more drinking.
Oh, especially not at Pierogi's level. He would be like, chug for 8 seconds. I can't see your throat. Like, go up a bit more. And that from like the beer chugging, it went to.
Sorry, what is that video clip? Already did a shot? Already did a shot, way ahead of you. Her saying, never mind, I need a shot. This guy is unbearable. She was a fangirl who wanted a job, went to his Patreon, paid to get access to stuff, started doing volunteer translation, ended up saying she needed to be paid. At some point, she made a server for him to come into where she could type the translations of what the people were saying to him. And then there was a sub forum, a channel where they talk when they drink. And it seems like she's pushing the drinking. The weird thing is, why would she choose these examples to share as evidence? Are these the strongest examples where she's pushing for drinks harder than he is? Subchannel she set up indeed. Do we know if he even had mod status there? She talked about it being deleted, so it would have had to have been her doing it. Unless he had mod status.
That from like the beer chugging, it went to lollipops. From lollipops, it went to Pink Buddy, which was a pink fighter.
This is what family does. They chug beer in honor of each other. Alcohol poisoning is a very real thing, and no one should drink as much as we do at Scammer Payback to, scammer tears, man.
And basically, he would just create the server, DM me whenever he wanted to have like conversations and stuff. He just keep.
Are we meant to believe she was forced? This example is pretty bad. What is this? Fuck you. It's Limbo of the Lost. I should have known. It's Limbo of the Lost without the _0, you mother. I'm gonna say something insane. You're gonna think I'm crazy. You're gonna think I'm horrible. I think it's possible she liked drinking and wasn't being forced over the internet to drink all that alcohol for fear of her job.
Adding me, and then once he was done, he deleted. But he kind of eased me into it. It didn't start with sexual stuff. It started with friendly conversations and having a safe space to speak in.
And you guys...
He eased me into it. You slept into his Patreon and were like, I'm going to carve out a niche for me. I'm going to create a job here. Show them that I'm valuable. I'm going to suggest we watch movies and drink together. I'm even going to suggest an Indian movie. By the way, keeping the country she's from anonymous, by the way.
Would play like video games and stuff together too, right?
We were really good friends.
There were a lot of messages between you guys. Like, we're talking like 50,000 messages, like a lot. I even told you I can see the friendship there. Like, the messages that were sent between DMs between you and Pierogi were friendly. It looked like a cordial, like consensual friendship, I guess, if that makes sense.
I did consider him my friend.
When did the sexual harassment really start? Like, how long were you working for him before it started?
I honestly...
To me, the start of sexual harassment is when it's unwanted and it's demonstrated that it's unwanted. Or if it comes out of absolutely nowhere and is inappropriate. We have her, like, easing towards, let's watch a movie together and drink. I don't know. I feel like she made the first steps towards this, the first tiny steps towards this, from what she's showing.
I would say somewhere around 8 months. If I remember correctly, you didn't go through all of the messages on the original account because there were so many. The one that he deleted. He never leaked HKT into the DMs because he knew he had to be careful. He knew it was a sensitive topic, obviously. That's why he created a channel and then deleted it. But it...
So he had control over the server. Okay.
Did leak out sometimes because I would ignore him and then he would just at me consistently in DMs, thinking that, you know, that would catch my attention.
But also, like, he would at you in all the all the different channels in the Discord server.
No.
Like, he would blow up your notifications.
Before, right?
It got to the point where I was actually scared to be online. Like, I used to be someone
scared to be online
who never used to set herself to invisible on Discord. I have been invisible on all social media platforms.
She said she created it. Yes. But Swaggin, if she made him a mod, she can give him permission to make channels within the server. That could have been what was happening.
Platforms for almost 2 years now.
It doesn't necessarily contradict.
Strictly because he was kind of watching everything you were doing.
He was kind of stalky, yeah. So if I was on Twitter and liking stuff, he would be like, "You're not replying to my messages on Discord."
Twitter shows you when people like stuff. At least it shows me I don't like it. It's not stalking. It's not stalking. Oh, I thought she only said she created the server. If she did say she created it and then said only he was creating and deleting, I don't think that's of material importance enough to check.
But you were active here. Or if I was appearing offline or in a call with my friends, he joined my private server. I invited him. And he'd be like, "You should have told me that you were in a conversation with your friends. I'm waiting here," stuff like that. And then he'd eventually guilt trip me into leaving the conversation with my friends and paying attention to him. If I was online on Steam, he'd be like, "Oh."
So just let me know if no. He says, just let me know if no. Wait! He's saying he wants to know so he can confirm she's not coming. So if she was like, I can't go, now we need to see the guilt trip.
"You're playing Dead by Daylight. Can you stream it for me?"
He had a really strong hold on you. Like, he had his claws dug into you deep.
Claws dug into you? Dang, and you're here too. Overpromised you aid tomorrow. Said tomorrow, probably. Let the record show this is not a yeet. Lol, I am here. Awful ghost. Last call. For what? To get her to do translation or what?
Honestly, the last 2 years of my life have only been pierogi. I am still kind of in pierogi withdrawals. There are times when
I'm in pierogi withdrawals? No, that's the alcohol.
I need my friend, and he's my friend. He's the person I talk to when I'm sad and upset for the last 2 years. And I've lost a friend, and I've lost my job, and I'm a complete mess. He was...
Yeah, how did you lose your job? We haven't seen that. Did you quit? Were you fired? What wait. Did we cover why she's not there anymore?
My everything for 2 years. I woke up to his messages. I went to sleep to his messages. Work was about him. Every single moment, even if he's recording, he's messaging me, asking for how many shots to take or stuff like that, telling me how he's feeling, if he's like irritated with the recordings and stuff like that, or he's upset that he can't get, you know, everything done in one go.
About 8 months in is when he kind of started getting the sexual stuff going. How often?
Right. He could do some insane shit here, but so far it's like, just be like, nah, not into that. Just be like, nah, don't want to do that. At any point. Please, just...
And once it started, how often were you doing it?
It was like every day.
Every day that he was hitting you up for it, or every day that you would actually give in and do it?
No, it was every day that I was being hit up for it. Okay,
How
I've
often
been
would you do it?
in the past physically, and so sex isn't something that I really enjoy. I just kind of complied with the sexual stuff. I know it doesn't seem like it in the screenshots and stuff, but I don't enjoy sex. Sexy talk and stuff makes me really uncomfortable.
I don't enjoy sex. Right. The context we've been given for the upcoming messages is that she does not enjoy sex because of physical experiences she's had in the past. Bear in mind, Pierogi's where? Is he in Poland? Or Pierogi is not in the country she's in. This is all over the internet. But she's saying because of past physical experiences, she does not enjoy sex at all. It's upsetting to her. That's the context we have for what we're about to see. I think it'll be interesting.
I was never really into it, but I know, because, I've had relationships and stuff, I know how to fake it really well. I would usually agree to once a week.
Okay.
In the
I know how to fake it really well. Okay.
beginning, but eventually I just couldn't do it. I just got to the point where I was just sending him old videos of nudes I made a while back, and I'm like, you know what? Fucking deal with this shit. I can't do it.
You would say you were like sharing nude images and stuff with him like once a week?
Yeah. Actually, more than once a week, because I just didn't want to record more stuff. So I just sent him old stuff to wank to, yeah. And I told him that this is old videos and stuff, and reruns is what we would call it.
Wait, okay, so reruns, that's a good thing that you brought that up, because that is something I wanted to clarify, because there are multiple screenshots where he's saying reruns, and
You carved yourself out a niche as a translator, and then you evolved that into being a one-on-one OnlyFans creator. Oh no, I believe he's cheating on his wife. But that's also like, so what? I'm not invested in this guy. I'm more interested in the accusations of... So infidelity is like a personal thing. It's a slight against his wife and against the institution of marriage. The shit where it's like, he's a dangerous predator. That's of general concern to a lot more people.
Didn't know if that meant like you were sending...
And they're not playing this as like a juicy drama video. He's a cheater. If they were, like I said at the start, that'd be fine.
Him old videos, or if he was just like thinking about you, or...
I was just sending him old videos because I can... And you'll know...
I gotta try to figure the mount as well. It's literally like ready for Expla. Reruns!
Notice that reruns are pretty common in the DMs.
They are,
because I just couldn't, at least for the last 6 months, I just could not. So I would just make excuses consistently.
I think she said they called them reruns. I don't remember if she said he said it, but...
Would you guys ever, video chat live together, or was it always just...
The sexual stuff was only, messages. He wanted to do live when he would go out of city or somewhere. He'd say he'd get a private hotel room and we could live video call. But I'd say, yeah, totally. And then I would not reply.
This was around the summer of 2022. And Pierogi tells you he's...
That's very important. The reason that's very important is this is being framed as she felt pressured into doing all this stuff because she feared for her job, right? The painting we have is she feared losing her money if she didn't comply. Simultaneously, she agrees to have him out of the city, out of the country, wherever, get a hotel for the purpose of doing a live chat, and then she ghosted him after agreeing to it. And she didn't fear that might impact her job if she thought not complying was an issue. I don't think that lines up.
Going out of town, he's going to have a private room to himself, and then he says, we're going to have to plan many HKD sessions, many high-key drunk sessions.
It's time. Hina, let's go. I'm...
No, not the text-to-speech. You can't hit me with that out of nowhere.
Here. Ha ha. Lol.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Oh man. Yo. Fam.
I wanna, but I really can't. My depression is at an all-time low. I don't even have the desire to live anymore.
Oh dang. I'm sorry. What can I do to help?
Be there for me. There's no one.
Remember all the people you
Be there for me. Not leave me alone, just let me be alone. Be there for me.
help.
I'm all alone, and it's suffocating.
I'm all alone. That's asking... This is her pursuing him. This is her saying no to sex stuff, but this is still her emotionally pursuing him.
I'm sorry, fam. Just know that you're helping people.
I know, Bossman.
And that's something to be proud of. We saved 2 huge-ass wire transfers last week. A good HKD will help for sure.
A good HKD.
Trying to make you laugh, fam.
After the first, I'm broke again.
Well, I'll pay ya.
Ooh, then tomorrow, beer time. Gotta buy lube.
LOL. I gotta fly tomorrow, fam.
No.
Hang on. I feel like something... I'm depressed. I feel horrible. How about drinks? I need money. Okay, I'll give you money. Yeah. But also, gotta buy lube?
No.
So time to plan multiple HKDs, LOL.
My only companion?
While out of town.
ONG. Live HKD, yes.
She suggested it! In the interview, she said he pushed for it. She said yes and then ghosted him. She asked for it. What the fuck?
Yes. Daddy.
Possibly so.
Ooh. Bathroom the...
But you'll yeet.
You better get a room.
She was just talking about how he brings up this idea and pushes her to do it live. She says yes and then ghosts. It was her idea. Her evidence of that is showing that it was all her idea, and she asked for this. Scared for her job, by the way. Only does this stuff scared for her job, by the way. Doesn't like sex, by the way.
HKD long overdue. I'm excited now, and happy.
At this point,
I'm depressed. Want a drink? Oh, I've got to fly out. Oh, you need to get a private room so we can do live sex stuff. I'm finally happy after I telling you I was depressed. Yeah, that sure sounds like she's being controlled by her boss. Stop.
guys, when he said it was an HKD session, he meant like cyber, right? Like cyber sex. Yeah. So in the screenshots that you sent me, he uses some...
Yeah, and then she suggested live HKD. You've got to get a room live. Yeah. Daddy?
certain terminologies that I think should be explained. What was the position?
By the way, October is my birthday month. You sending money today? Yes. Gonna
October is my birthday. You sending money?
order stuff from AliExpress and
like he's 100% a cheater. True. You should have made this like a drama go after him as a cheater video. Not he's a dangerous predator video. He's not unless there's something else coming. This isn't a dangerous predator. But yeah, he is a cheater. Just make it like, this guy's a scumbag cheater video.
Ask them for discreet packaging. And if I pay extra for shipping, it should arrive soon.
Never got the position, haha. Jokes aside, fam, it'll be okay. We have scammers to fry.
You shall get eat.
I'll get what?
Position.
Ah.
Position in an oil can, please, to fry.
You sure?
Yes, sir. But I gotta order first. Position with Pink Buddy is difficult.
Yes. Well, thought you would have had by now, haha.
Pink Buddy kinda lost the charm. The silicone and the is kinda bent. Pain.
I see.
Well, I bought a laptop, remember?
Don't be buying vibrators or those from AliExpress. It's going to be made with like discarded radioactive materials. You're going to die. Irradiated from the inside out. You're gonna die. Don't put anything from AliExpress in your body, ever, under any circumstance. Public health warning.
50K this month, last installment, and then I'm a rich woman again.
Oh, noise. We're gonna have 2 call centers soon. So lots to be done, fam.
Oh, that will be amazing.
Right.
I know.
The new laptop is good, and I can connect it to the TV in my room,
One is 60 to 80 people.
so I can keep it on.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
Okay.
Have you figured out the position yet is the real question.
I have. And the angle. But RIP Pink Buddy.
You can still do it without in the interim laughing my ass off. Sheesh. Ha ha.
Sheesh.
Holy shit, the position of nightmares.
Yeah.
The position of nightmares. So he sent me an image. It was of a model who had her
Right.
butt out. She was sitting on her legs at the beach. And he's like, and it was shot at a back angle. So you would see her back and her butt. So he's like, I want you to do that, but like sit on a dildo while you're doing it and take it up the ass.
Up the ass. Like
Yes,
specifically it had
yes.
to be.
Up the ass. Yes, so if I'll show you the screenshots later of him just being like, me telling him, oh, my ass is too small, I need a butt plug, stuff like that.
I mean, this time it'll happen. Trust me.
She looks really distraught.
Practice though. I don't know if it'll go in the other hole yet. Okay, I promise.
What's the practice?
I've never promised before. Well, I have 2 butt plugs.
Like I thought you got the real thing.
Gotta open loo hole up.
She had no interest, by the way. Le hole. Le Reddit hole. Gotta open le hole up. She had no interest in doing anything sexual, by the way.
I did.
Oh, okay, so you haven't tried it yet.
Hina sends Pierogi a screenshot confirming the delivery date of the new toy that she bought.
Even paid for extra shipping.
She was so scared that he'd do something to her if he didn't pay the extra shipping. See this emote of a man screaming in terror to express her fear?
Oh, November 15th. I thought you had it.
I thought so too. I paid for the less than 2-week delivery option.
Yeah, well, I can just do mind reruns, haha.
But apparently Customs loves inspecting those in all countries.
Yeah, lol.
Let me just check something real quick. You notice anything about this?
Loves inspecting those in all countries.
Yeah, lol. Mind reruns it is.
Yes, sir. Where shall we start?
You see anything?
You sure? Okay, lol.
You deleted everything, Daddy. Also, dildo is 8.5, Daddy.
Still 8.5, Daddy.
Oh, good.
You're gonna need to show me where he demands you call him Daddy. I don't think you can start calling someone Daddy and then be like, oh, I just felt pressured.
Want to see? Lol, hi.
Yes, please, Daddy.
Next time.
Tomorrow, then.
You gotta respect me more.
Tomorrow you can punish me properly, Daddy. I'll be a good girl from now on.
Okay, good. Are you sure?
Yes, Daddy. I need to be disciplined.
Come the on. Do they think we're doesn't enjoy sex, by the way. It's very, very hard for her to talk about anything sexual, by the way.
So what will you do for now to make up?
Oh, action hanky? For sure. It's looking like he's a big old cheater, presumably. I don't know if he really is married, okay? I presume it's just public knowledge, but if he is, big old cheater.
I can rerun.
Do you think
Someone abusing their position of authority to sexually manipulate someone? Possible, but not with her, given what this is, given what we're being shown now.
that'll be good enough?
And practice properly tomorrow, Daddy. Will that make it up?
We will see.
I'll be a good girl for Daddy now.
So another thing that he says
They're doing like role play, practically.
a lot in the screenshots is tutorial. What does he mean when he says, I want the tutorial?
So basically, my pink buddy that is now decommissioned after trauma. But he would ask me to just like, kind of like a blow up, but suck on the pink bunny.
So he wanted to watch you essentially simulate giving a.
Yeah. He would be like, oh, turn your, like, kind of put your face up a bit more, or like take it in deeper. So, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
You have.
Jesus Christ, someone putting a latex in their mouth? Unheard of! An Asian woman on webcam putting a dildo in her mouth? It's never been done, never occurred before.
Shots.
Shall I do more?
You haven't slept, she asks. Oof. Shots. She asks. Shall I do more? He asks. Yes, she says.
More.
Yes. How many so far? I gotta catch up.
Lots. But I'll grab more. I need an erupting volcano emoji.
Dude, the voiceover is so good. I'll never be as funny as people's private conversations read by text-to-speech. And I'm okay with that. Because for that not to be true, we wouldn't have this beautiful gift.
Do you have any ideas?
Gotta get out of bed for this, I guess.
It's okay. I will just take a shot and go to sleep.
Oh.
Or, if you would like to perform live. Sorry, drunk talk.
Let me see. Give me like a sec.
She sounded disappointed that he was going to bed.
Okay. No electricity. Live performances be out of the picture right now.
Oh, okay. Dang. So go back to sleep, me.
Yes. I go back to sleep with you.
No, I am saying I should put it away and go to sleep laughing my ass off.
How dare you put it away and not in me?
Is this...
What's going on? Why does everyone suddenly have autism?
Is this is this very video we're watching like some sort of male feminist degradation fetish thing? Do people get off on watching something like this and going, yes, believe women. She was abused. She was abused. They get off on being gaslighted? Is that what this is? Is that what's happening?
Like so rude, Daddy.
Sorry. You wouldn't do in dark.
I have holes too, you know.
Bro.
They have feelings.
Reeps fed the streamer a $5
Thank you.
I've never seen an SA survivor have this much fun talking about their experiences on a live stream. Raised eyebrow.
Thank you. She's far more aggressive than he ever is.
LOL. I'm just gonna chug.
Same. Let me record.
I chugged the rest of Fireball. GG for me. Those dang lights.
I mean, we could do like sexy lighting shots or something. But like, Daddy, look. My hair is long enough for you to pull now.
That... We haven't seen anything of him being like, I want your hair longer or anything. This... All that we've seen, and it's coming from her so she could include whatever she wants, it's her volunteering that.
Good baby. Put it into pigtails then.
Both sides. I got you.
Perf. It's that bad, LOL.
No, it's too big. Obviously. Once I'm sober, I'm making an HKD folder LMFAO on Dropbox. I have so many clips like, oh my god. Even I use them to explode sometimes.
Really?
Like I go back and I'm like, yeah, we did this. And then I fap, like recalling the whole thing. In my hole, yes.
Jesus Christ. Hates sex, by the way. You have to believe women. You have to believe she was in no way into this. When she was writing all of this, she was in fear for her life and her livelihood. Okay?
I should just volcano emoji, I assume.
I'm gonna volcano emoji! Ah!
Nor. Gimme something, Daddy. To work with.
So I chug then.
Yes, we chug.
Okay, I will
She's
find
asking
more.
him for stuff.
Yes. Don't leave me behind, Daddy.
I'm going tinfoil hat. She wanted pictures from him so that she could blackmail. And after sticking it out this long and not being able to get it, she's just going with this.
Okay, I'm not.
I'm catching up to you.
I keep noticing a theme of her asking for stuff. Does she have pictures from him?
X100
X
Who's the man? The person who is accusing Pierogi, or the person who saw these DMS and thought, yeah, he is the harasser.
She's dumb, but I mean, how many views does Savannah Marie normally get? Is it in line or is it more? Oh, it's less. Yeah, she's super dumb because this is getting way less attention than her other videos. At least so far. After 22k after 3 days? Half-life on YouTube's pretty short. It's her who's dumb. She's dumb if she really believes Hina, what she's saying about her state of mind, and she's dumb for thinking that this was going to pop off.
For like my explosion too, Daddy. I'll be a good girl this time and wait to volcano emoji with you.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay. First can down, Daddy. Should I drink more or get the headband?
That is a good point to make. A very obvious point as well. She could have just faked drinking. Like, she didn't have to drink alcohol. She could just have, like, 2 cans.
Or maybe Pink Buddy. Tell me what you want me to do, Daddy.
Good girl chugging. I don't know, is one enough.
I think Hex is right. They're doing, like, beer fetish stuff.
Okay, I get more, Daddy.
Okay.
It's not just liking beer. I think it's liking drinking in a way beyond just liking the beer itself.
Okay.
Daddy, are you drinking with me, though?
I had Fireball and found more.
Ooh.
There's her encouraging him to drink.
Ooh, I want to drink Fireball.
I did more chugs. Headache, here I come.
It's okay. We have a day to deal with being hungover.
Chug, chug, chug.
Chug, you say.
Yes, I say. I command laughing my ass off.
Your wish is my command, Daddy.
Implants when...
Costs too much.
I'm fairly wasted, to be honest.
I'm extra wasted.
I'm fairly
like 2 days of drinking.
To be honest.
GG explode time. Go.
Okay.
GG explode time. Go. There's a tweet. I have to. And we need the volcano emoji. Beautiful.
Quests.
No long pose, or is that prohibited?
Long pose. Tell me. I try.
Pose?
Ass to camera bouncing on the buddy and feet flat on floor.
I'm a try. Dunno if small bulbs will catch it.
Ah, man.
I'm getting like 10 to 15 hours of load shedding. I need to buy like a power source.
Oh.
So funny.
For laptop or something.
I GG's then.
No. Wait. I have a classic.
Scroll down to comments. Marie? Who the fuck is Marie? What the In response to the many people who seem to be struggling in finding empathy for Hina, I dug up this research paper regarding gender roles in culturally Muslim countries. What relevance does this have to do with the logs? What the The study was done on 250 people living in countries like Hina. I sent it to Hina and had her read through it to make sure she relates to it. And she said, for the most part, it's accurate. Here's the study. I can't believe Pierogi rules the nation that she lives in. If you need a legitimate source that gives you some insight into why Hina may have behaved the way she did in these screenshots, I think this research paper will shed light. Sorry, in culturally Muslim countries, women are expected to push for you to drink and do sexy things with her. It's culturally expected in Muslim countries for you to suggest drinking and watching an Indian movie. No, you have to understand. Muslims love alcohol.
That won't load.
Okay, enter me now. Thanks.
Did the lights not work too?
They no work, yeah. It's oldie, but like the best.
Can I see the oldie one?
Okay, which one?
The doggy style pose. Yes, those are bad.
This is good shit, though. This is great content. Everyone subscribe to Savannah Marie, like the video. These TTS sections are the funniest shit I've seen in probably 6 months.
HKD was not about being a comfortable space after 8 months in. Like, it was not.
Did you ever initiate it with him, or was he always the one?
You just is Savannah trying to own her? You just showed us all that. It was her most of the time crossing the line into pushing for the overtly sexual stuff.
I'm not sure, honestly, but I would say that yes, I might have initiated it a couple of times. I'm not gonna like act like I'm an innocent Andy in all of this.
I mean,
Not gonna act like I'm an innocent Andy in all of this. That's what you've been doing the whole time. You even said, you claimed to us that you do not like sex at all because of previous experiences.
X100 Pro, if she is in a Muslim country and someone sees this is she not in danger of being stoned to death. Would this fear not override any fears of
I'm not an
Pierogi?
expert. I imagine it would not be considered very kindly by her community. We also saw her talking about him pushing for live sex stuff when he's out of town. And then we saw in the logs that it was her bringing that up at all. She said she's scared and she felt she had to do things because that was her source of money. But she said she had the balls to say she'd do something and then ghost him. None of this lines up.
Usually a him thing.
Let's just say if there were 100 times, 95 times with him was him just doing it. And maybe I would do it 5 times if I wanted him drunk, because if he's drunk, he passes out.
I would do it. I would engage in sexual conversation with him to get him drunk so that he'd go to sleep. It's online. Just don't look at the messages. It's online, just don't look at the messages. It's not you at home with a guy who abuses you, who you manipulate into getting drunk to be safe from him beating you and doing stuff. He sends you messages that you do ignore. You've shown us that you ignore them. You don't need to get him drunk to avoid messages. This is insane post hoc rationalization. Not even. No, that's too generous. She's lying.
That was so fun.
Okay, I sleep now. I pass out now.
I know Explo though.
Okay, go.
Okie, speak
Is Savannah trying to own her? She just said she gets him drunk so he'll fall asleep. He said he's going to go asleep, and then she gets him to not fall asleep. Does Savannah understand what she's showing us? She's showing us evidence that Hina did not do it to get him to go to sleep, because when he said he was going to sleep, she'd try and stop him from going to sleep.
dirty to me, Daddy. Tell me how you'd f me. I want to know what you'd do to me.
Guys, she's just doing this so he'll go to sleep. Okay.
Be rough, Daddy. I've been a bad, bad girl.
I passed out. I'm back.
New.
I'm back.
But so late. Daddy, you left me.
I passed out.
Daddy, go sleep. We will have the best sex ever later.
He was going to sleep, and then you did more stuff.
Can't have you passing out midway.
One of these days, when he was trying to initiate cyber sex with you in an HKD channel, you told him that you were in the hospital.
Yeah.
Was that true? You were just home.
Yep. I had to go to really extreme excuses to make him stop. So my excuse then was that I had a heart problem and I was in the hospital for that. Small excuses just stopped working by that point. So
Are we going to see her sending a message that's like, oh, my heart, I need money? I'm waiting. How is Savannah going to own her this time?
I was like, you know what? I'm going to die. I have a heart problem. And he still wanted to do HKD.
Hey, Hina. Daddy here. Hina. Hina. Hello.
Hey, people. Daddy here.
Hina.
Daddy, you gotta wait. I'm at the hospital, but I have been a bad girl. You gotta spank me.
Ah! She's telling us she lied about being at the hospital to get him to stop. Daddy, you got away, I'm at the hospital, but I have been a bad girl, you got to spank me. She was trying to get him to stop, that's the only way. May I suggest, if you want someone to stop engaging in sexual comments with you, don't demand that they spank you.
I wanted you to see my dick.
Daddy, I want to see you so bad. See your see it. Let it enter me.
Well, where have you been?
Hospital, Daddy.
Am I ever gonna get you the implants? Also, how long is the hospital for?
I've been a very bad girl, Daddy. Promise to punish me later.
That's not a good girl.
Hospital for at least a year. But I'll be home by 10 p.m.
Does she mean she'll have trips to the hospital for a year? This doesn't sound like she was lying about the hospital. Hospital for at least a year, but I'll be home by 10 p.m. If I'm going to try and figure out what that could mean, it would be like, I will have to go to the hospital a few times over the next year, but today I'll be home by 10 p.m. Like,
It's 4 p.m. right now.
That's not good. Tisk, why have you been bad?
Why not good? I've been flossing while thinking of you, Daddy, and without you, so I've been a very bad girl.
Okay, what have you been thinking?
I've been thinking about all 8.5 inches of you, of how you'd how
I'm sorry, it gets better.
you'd fill me up with your rough.
Let me see.
What do you want to see, Daddy?
Everything. Position. Tutorial.
But Daddy, I'm in the hospital.
You're not being obedient enough.
I can't record. I haven't been listening to Daddy, have I?
Nope.
Will you punish me later, Daddy?
I don't know
What is this?
more I can say. I mean, I'm dying with a heart problem and
Exactly. It was like almost to the point where that excuse didn't even work for.
What more can I say? You can say, I'm in the hospital, I don't want to do this now, it's bad, please have some respect. Don't be like, I'm in the hospital, you need to spank me.
Him. That should have been like, oh shit, like, sorry, are you okay? It wasn't, he didn't even ask it.
It's not even like, she didn't do enough to stop him. No, she actively solicited it from him. She actively solicited it from him in the same sentence. Not the same sentence, in the same message. She demanded that he spank her.
If you were okay.
no excuse ever worked. It was like, oh, you're gonna get
No excuse ever worked. I told him I've got to do laundry, so he needs to fuck me in the ass right now, and he still wouldn't stop.
home from the hospital, then you have to. But it was never, no excuse ever worked. Like, even when I tried to quit a couple of times, like, I'm not good at confrontation at all. So I wanted to make an excuse to kind of leave the job. So I'd be like, I can't do it. I can't work this many long hours, blah, blah, blah. And he'd just try to accommodate my requests.
What an abuser. The classic controlling boss trying to accommodate a worker's requests for less hours.
Rather than actually taking them as excuses to leave. He didn't really let me do that.
He didn't let me leave. He was supposed to understand from you saying you have to work too many hours that you wanted to quit. And it's on him that he listened to you telling him he needs too many hours of work from you. And in return, he says, okay, we can cut them. That's bad? How is that bad?
At the end, when I left, I still didn't tell him I'm leaving because of the stuff you've done. I told him I left because I feel like I can't learn anything more from scam baiting. And I wanted to expand my horizons.
Ultimately,
I wanted to expand my anus.
your reason for leaving was because of the sexual harassment, and you couldn't handle it anymore.
Yes.
I wouldn't say any of that's harassment. He had zero indication that she wasn't into it, and in fact, she aggressively pursued it. There can totally be scenarios where someone's abused by someone in a position of power over them, but this ain't like that.
When I left, he was still like, he was like, oh, but we'll still be your, I'll still be your bhaiya, right? Bhaiya means brother. And I used to call him that. So he's like, you'll still be my behna, and behna means sister. So I guess he was kind of trying to see if I'd still help him drink or not. But as soon as I quit my job,
Trying to see if I'd still help him drink. Can I listen to that again?
He was kind of trying to see if I'd still help him drink or not, but as soon as I quit my job, it was a day or two after, he just completely stopped with all of that.
So he never tried to initiate cyber sex with you after you quit? Was
No.
he?
Yeah, but did he before either? Because mostly it's you doing it in what we've seen. Maybe it's just that you stopped and then you realized, oh, it was me doing it the whole time. The sexts were coming from inside India.
He trying to initiate it all the way up until you quit, like the day before you quit kind of thing? Or so it hadn't slowed down. It was still going in full force and you finally decided.
The only thing that had slowed down was him streaming. There would be a month where he wouldn't stream or 2 months where he wouldn't stream. I didn't do anything that month. What am I taking money for? And those months were the hardest. Like those months were the ones where I actually had to cave in properly and do the videos. Like not do reruns and stuff. Yeah, not do reruns, actually record new
Right, okay. Show us him making demands or something, or pressing him.
stuff.
There were months where he wasn't streaming and you weren't doing translating work for him. So, like, in order to justify him paying you, you would give in to more shit with him.
Eventually, it became like, he'd be.
Because he's asked for stuff, but when he asks for stuff, it's not like it's the origin is just him. She approaches with him with something, and then he moves on from what she's done. Is what we've been shown.
Like, I'm sending him your salary, so let's do HKD after.
Wait, he calls her mommy? That's the first message for the day, presumably. How are you? Head pats. He says, so happy now, thank you, mommy. And then she goes, ready for your shots? Is that what will make you happy with me? So she's kicking off the drinking, and then he's saying, is that what you want? Do you want me to start every day asking? And she says, yes. Do you want me to pay first, mommy? Yes, please. Okay, sorry, I will now. Good boy. Is this Findom? Like he's her client. This is like a client relationship.
Eventually, it became like, he'd be like, I'm sending him your salary, so let's do HKD after, so.
In my opinion, that's not okay. That's not an okay relationship to have.
He didn't say, I'm sending you your salary, so now let's drink. You contacted him and were like, time for shots?
With your employees.
I mean, I never thought of him as my employer. I always thought of him as my best friend.
Were you afraid that if you didn't comply with his advance?
So what's the agreement? Like, what? Was it just some messages where he was like, yeah, I'll give you $750 a month. Do some stuff, I'll give you $750 a month. It seems like he's unconditionally giving her $750 a month. Are we sure she wasn't actually like? What were the terms of employment? Like what?
That you would lose your job?
He never said it openly, but I was afraid. I've always been
Never said it openly, but I was afraid. She just said here, he never said it openly, but she was afraid. 4315. Here's her email. I'm reaching out to you in the hopes of exposing a sexual predator that threatens to use his authority and connections to cover up his sexual deviancy. I'm worried for my safety. He never threatened you with loss of money?
His advances that you would lose your job?
He never said it openly, but I was afraid. I've always been insecure about my position at Scammer Payback. It's not something Pierogi did. It's just me and my insecurities.
So you didn't feel that your position was at risk? So on what basis were you manipulated into being forced to do this? So he didn't do anything wrong. You didn't feel pressured by the fact that he was your boss. You just said it's okay, she just said it's not a problem. What? What the fuck is this then?
But I was always insecure about my position at Scammer Payback. I always felt like I was very easily replaceable. So I always felt like I had to go above and beyond to make sure I kept my position. Every time you bring up a screenshot or stuff like that, I'm just like, oh my god, did that actually happen? There are
Oh my god, did that actually happen? Am I psychotic? Did I misremember? Is that what you were thinking?
times when my friends would share screenshots of stuff I'd said to them, or like a screenshot of stuff that P said to me, and I'd be like, holy shit, I really didn't want to go along with it. But I don't remember those stuff. I just remember me complying.
This is illness. This is actual illness.
I don't really remember.
So, like, if you were to look back at the screenshots the next day, like, would you have, like, hazy memories of it at all, or?
If it was the next day, it would be hazy, but, like, let's say a month from now, I won't remember anything.
How do you... What an insane lie. I don't know. I'm not making a... I never want to see this again. So if this goes up on the channel, it will be this edited. But I'm just taking a moment to be utterly stun-locked. Let me tell you what happened. By the way, you also have to believe me when I say that I have zero memory of any of our interactions. And whenever I see the messages between us, I'm shocked because I don't remember that happening. If that's true, she has dementia or something.
Very important thing here that I'd like to emphasize is consent. I appreciate that Hina is very open and aware of her involvement in all this. However, in the United States, for example, there have been many court cases and criminal trials, not saying that this is a criminal trial at all. It's obviously not, never will be, but anyway, there are cases galore, essentially establishing that someone who is intoxicated, especially someone...
She's going for the drunk angle? She got him to drink. They were two drunk people, dude.
Who was heavily intoxicated cannot give consent. Hina often found herself waking up the next morning with very hazy memories.
Okay, then she sexually harassed him with indecent imagery then. She's also claimed that he drank vastly more than her. She tried to say he drank vastly more than her, but she feels it more. But she has claimed that he drank a lot more than her.
Of the previous night's HKD session, if not totally forgetting the whole thing entirely. A good...
Oh my god. She's using her claim that she can't remember any of it as some sort of evidence of the degree to which she was drunk. Then how did she know? When she recounted what happened, why would you listen to her then if she can't remember any of it? How does it make sense that she knows what she said, but then is surprised to see what she said? Does she not seem a bit crazy to you?
Rule of thumb that most articles that I've read on the topic suggest that if someone is intoxicated to the point where they're incapable of making reasonable judgments and decisions, they're probably too intoxicated to consent. If you even need to question whether or not somebody is too intoxicated to consent, they're probably too intoxicated to consent. And then in that case, you probably should not pursue anything with that person. While personal responsibility is something that should be practiced in all aspects of life, if you're being pressured to drink excessive amounts of alcohol...
You mean like she pressured him? There were many examples of her telling him to drink more, asking if he's drinking. Maybe one or two of him asking her to drink, but not really. This is bizarre. Oh, also, Hina has a Twitter account where she's responding to questions. She did an AMA. So we have that to look forward to, alright? Yeah. I was sexually assaulted. I had been drinking, and someone on Discord told me to shove a lollipop up my... So I did because I was drunk. They assaulted me. No.
If you're literally chugging multiple beers to the point where your memories of that previous night are totally wiped out,
then you're a fucking moron, alcoholic.
Probably too drunk to consent to... activity. And there's no objective level of intoxication to where someone can no longer give consent. That has not been established. But what has been well established is that alcohol and drug consumption plays a big role in determining whether or not a victim can consent to sexual activity.
So, given all of this, would you consider all of this to be cheating? Because, as we know...
That's where we're jumping? This is where we're jumping. Okay.
As he's very open about, according to you, I don't really watch his stuff, but according to you, his wife...
Check the top comment. Hang on. If it's good, I'll load it up to look at after we finish watching. Oh! That's a good comment. Okay, we'll peep it. Yeah, so I think you were... By the way, do you think he's cheating on his wife? Do you think she doesn't know? What is this flow?
Is like a well-known person in the land of pierogi, and we also know that he has a family.
The land of pierogi?
Kids.
You mean Poland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would consider it cheating, yes.
I would
and
too.
I would also consider myself a guilty party in that, so I'm sorry.
There was a power dynamic there.
Nah. Okay? It's on you to be faithful. I will defend her on one point. It's up to him to be faithful.
Even if there was a power dynamic, at the end of the day, I'm the person that ended up being a guilty party and kind of destroying, I hope it doesn't destroy his family, but I was equally a part of that. I should have said no. I knew he was married with kids. I mean, if I want to get him held accountable, I have to hold myself accountable too.
In my opinion, while Hina says things along the lines of like, I should have said no, I could have said no, I shouldn't have gone along with it, I don't think that she was in the right state of mind to reasonably agree to cyber sex with pierogi. Again, just my personal opinion, and obviously this...
How about when she hadn't drunk yet and told him to start drinking? And started doing the sex stuff? How about all the times he was already drinking and then she said she agreed to drink as well? So he was drunk and she wasn't at that point, and she engaged.
Probably doesn't apply to every circumstance, but given what we know, I think it probably applies to a lot of them. As a matter of fact, I would say that she felt pressured to comply with pierogi's advances because she was worried about her job security.
She already said she wasn't. She already said that had no relation to him and was personal insecurity. You have her on the record saying that he never made her feel that way. She explicitly said he never made her feel that way and she wanted to quit. You can't really go this angle without just saying, I think that Hina is a liar.
Pierogi was obviously intoxicated as well, but again, in my opinion, that doesn't absolve him from personal responsibility. And
what did he do? Did he send her lewd pictures? Oh wait, no, she sent him lewd pictures. She demanded his...
In my opinion,
she's the more aggressive one, anyway.
Two of them that had the responsibility to make sure that their relationship did not cross that line was the one paying the other's salary.
I mean, I don't know how he handles that much alcohol. I get drunk after a beer or two, but like, I don't know.
We're gonna talk about how he drank a massive amount of alcohol compared to her now? Christ.
I don't know how he handles that much alcohol.
I mean, some of the screenshots,
really don't.
You guys were saying like, oh, I'm like 6.5 shots in or something like that, like crazy stuff. I'm like, dude, I would be on the floor.
No, it would start like, by the end, it's like we always start with 3 shots. It always depended on his mood. He would drink however much he wanted to drink, but he would still put it on me.
Do you feel like you enabled his drinking?
I definitely do. Yeah, I definitely did.
Do you feel like he
mean?
enabled your drinking?
Yeah.
He would stream drunk all the time, though.
So you wanted to drink, and he enabled it. How? By paying you?
Right?
Yeah.
Did the audience know he was drunk? Was he taking shots on camera? So he would, like, turn his camera off and take a shot.
Does she understand that she just implied she wanted to do it? Otherwise, it's not enabling.
With you.
Sometimes he'd turn the camera off and take a shot. Other times he would just have it in a cup of coffee or something and like just chug that.
It breaks my heart at how hard Hina is on herself. And it's obvious that the two of them enabled each other's drinking. However, in my opinion, that power dynamic between the two of them says that most of the responsibility lies on Pierogi to make sure that these things don't happen. I say that again, in my opinion.
That's not what it means. It's not you're more powerful, so you have to control the situation. A power dynamic where one person is clearly above the other, so they are dependent on. Your responsibility is to not leverage that power to coerce someone into doing something. She has already stated that he never made her feel as if her job was at risk and that she just had her own personal insecurities because she has low self-esteem or something.
Because Pierogi regularly works with people who are from the same part of the world as Hina. He is aware of the economic conditions of that part of the world. He is aware of how desperate people are for money, given that his entire job is to expose and shut down scam call centers that employ people who are so desperate for money that they're willing to make their living by stealing it from innocent people.
From innocent scam-busting YouTuber. Oh, sorry, wait.
Just find it hard to believe, again, my opinion, that Pierogi never...
But again, the biggest thing that hurts the power dynamic argument is how high her income was compared to the average around her. Part of how a dynamic like that would work is, I'm screwed if I lose my job, my boss is coming on to me. Oh, I have to go along with this, or I might lose my job. They've already talked about how she was making massive amounts of money for where she lives. So shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck. Had the capability to save and say f you to him. She even discussed, contrary to being scared of losing her job or her income, Hina discussed having difficulty being able to quit and stop receiving money. What is this nonsense line?
Considered this power dynamic that he had over Hina. Being her boss was at least a partial...
Was he her boss, though? Was she actually employed? If you pay someone to do something for you, you are not necessarily their boss. If I have a plumber do some work, I am not my plumber's boss.
Contributor to her willingness to go along with everything. Also, Pierogi is the married one. He has children, he has a family. He supposedly takes his faith so seriously that he's dedicated enough to go to church every Sunday, or at least on a pretty...
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Regular basis.
I don't know his wife.
So from what I understand, his wife is the one who's mainly extremely religious. From what I've understood,
what the hell is
he
this?
does enjoy church mass a lot. He loves Sunday church. He goes to different cities for church stuff. So he's definitely religious, but he's kind of toned down speaking about his beliefs online because he became a bigger YouTuber and a bigger content creator. So he couldn't really speak about religious views later on. So he would message me around 3 a.m. his time, like before Sunday Mass. And he'd be like, I'm going to Sunday Mass today. And then he'd be like, let's do HKD before that. So he'd get drunk and HKD. And then he'd come back from Sunday Mass and he'd tell me,
I
heard the priest and I have a new look in life and stuff like that. So he was really into the religious aspect of things.
Hina here sounding like Anton LaVey at the church, recognizing all the people, all the womanizers are also all the people going to church. She's going to create her own satanic temple.
Right. And then he also, if I remember correctly, he used to travel for events too that were related to his church.
Hina says, according to her, that Pierogi is the one who ultimately eased her into the idea of having a sexual relationship. A married Christian man should never lust after another woman.
Is this a Christian channel? Does she have a Christian audience? Does she actually have an audience who's going to give a fuck? How Matt Rife became the enemy of his fan base. What is this angle?
Let alone initiate the relationship. There are some things that we know about Pierogi, his life, his faith, and those are foundational things in many people's lives. And he went against all of them. He had the initial responsibility, in my opinion, not to engage in a relationship like this, but he did anyway. Even if she was pursuing him first, he had the responsibility to shut that down, not only as her boss, but as a husband and as a father. So,
not a hit piece, by the way. We've gone from it's not a hit piece to, oh, even if there wasn't Omega abuse, he's a hypocritical scumbag. Why even say it's not a hit piece? Just drop some hot goss. You can do that. It's legal. Well, I don't know. Some of this might get you in trouble. Some of the claims made. But, you know.
Working with him, I ended up becoming extremely isolated. My only point of contact.
She ended up becoming isolated. She complained to him about her isolation and how she needed him.
For work was Pierogi. Eventually, I was able to contact the editor, but we didn't really have conversations. If I really wanted to have a conversation about work or anything, it would be with Pierogi. For real life, it was because I had to stay awake all night. I slept all morning. I wasn't able to go to many family events. I wasn't really able to plan anything with friends, because I just never knew when he would stream.
Don't take the job then. Hold up. This is so weird. If I was paid a massive amount, that meant if I got the same kind of pay as like a surgeon in the UK, and the cost was funny working hours, yeah, cool. Just rearrange things with the people I wanna meet up with or do stuff with. Like, that would be an absolute win. That's not a problem.
Or message me. And eventually, by the end of it, I was really isolated. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. A lot of people just couldn't put up with me being drunk and complaining about all of.
Here we go. Couldn't put up with you being drunk. Not you couldn't see them. If you weren't talking to them, how would they have a problem with you being drunk?
This and wanting to end my life and then just going back consistently.
Afterwards, after you quit, how has it affected you?
I'm still kind of trying to collect myself. Every time I think about it, now that I'm not drunk, I just end up blaming myself. I'm like, well, why did I do that? I could have said no. Why didn't I say no? I am having a
you didn't even need to say no. You just don't go buy beer.
difficult time trying to find a job because I want to apply to scam baiters, but it's just not possible. I feel like he's like the king of scam baiters, so to speak. Everyone works under him. I don't think
Yeah, you have zero chance now.
anyone would want to hire me. It would piss him off if I.
Not now. Not now. You said you quit, right? He's not going to tell people, like, we did weird, cringe, drunk sex roleplay stuff. He'd leave you alone.
I could just go back to being friends with him. I would really like that. I know that's not possible, but I really would like that. I would like my friend back.
And you still feel...
I really want to be friends with him. This is f***ing me up. They live among us, you know, right? Somewhere in your town, there's at least like 2 chicks who are like this.
Like he's your friend and stuff like that, but like, I mean, ultimately there was so much more to it. It wasn't just a simple friendship, but you felt like it was.
I still feel like it is.
Yeah, because it's still so fresh. When did you quit?
October, end of September.
2023, so it's only been a few months. Like, you dedicated years to this, so like, I don't think anyone should expect you to have everything figured out overnight, you know?
I just want to talk about something that I've been thinking about recently, how
Please, what is it going to be?
there are no ways to protect people like me who work from poor countries or other countries for freelance, or, you know, the way I was on salary, because $1
Freelance or the way I was on salary? So he wasn't your boss, is what you're telling us.
to any other currency conversion is a very good deal for anyone. And a lot of people a lot of people like me will put up with it because, money means more than anything. Again, being able to feed yourself is more important than your self-dignity. There might be other people in this situation working for other people, and
there's no indication that had you not done that, you would have been fired. She's going off this, right? She's going off on this point. She said herself she felt no threat from him that she could lose her job. She said she did it because she has low self-esteem and she felt not good enough. What would protect her from her own self-esteem? Also, it's typical more to online, people working in poorer countries, online, doing gig work. They'll do a ton of little jobs, and then they might have you want to have a bunch of recurring contracts. Even in first world countries, if you're doing stuff like Odesk, I don't remember what Odesk is called now, like Upwork? Tons of Indians on Upwork, or were on Odesk. Fiverr, you want tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of little jobs.
there's only two options. You either quit your job or you do an international lawsuit, which is completely impossible for someone who's literally counting every dollar that they're getting.
So expensive.
And and quitting your job is an option, but then you're back to starving. So there needs to be like a third option. Content creators don't usually have HR departments. There's no one you can report to. I didn't have anyone I could at Scam.
You're doing like gig work on a monthly payment basis. It didn't sound like you had any responsibilities even.
Or Payback say, this is what's going on with me, and know that I wouldn't get fired. Right? So there was no fail-safe for this. There needs to be.
Know that you wouldn't get fired. You said you had no expectation of getting fired and that it was down to your own feelings about yourself. What's going on?
There might be other people who are like this, and you know what? At the end, when you quit, you just shut up. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about how you sold yourself.
I think your story is just a testament to what people are willing to put up with to fucking survive, because there were no better options for you.
I get no indication that had she chosen not to do any sex stuff, she would have been cut off. I've seen no indication of that.
I hope that people understand that, because it's just not fair. The whole thing is unfair, and I don't think it's regulatable,
It's not regulatable, but there should be some way to at least hold a person accountable. Like if someone fucked your life over, they shouldn't just get to live their life perfectly without any consequences.
Do you feel like your life was fucked up over all this?
It was.
Even though, you were more well off financially while you were working for him, you still feel like you came out of it in a worse position than when you went in.
I came out of it an alcoholic.
She wants him to be held accountable for turning her into an alcoholic. We need labor laws to protect us from our bosses turning us into alcoholics. Okay, cool, nice, amazing. 55 minutes of my life, thank you.
And someone who used to smoke joints, like almost half a pack of cigarettes worth of joints a day. I was consistently stoned and drunk. I have a lot of mental health issues.
You didn't need this. Whoa, really?
If he tries to paint me as someone with mental health issues, then he has the right to, because I do have bipolar, I do have ADHD, I do have high functioning autism. I was
high functioning? I don't know, man.
Very suicidal during those time periods. So again, if he brings that topic up, I completely agree. I was not mentally stable.
She's trying to create this straw man of him attacking her mental health. Or preempt it or something. I'd be shocked if he responds to this at all.
When Hina brings up her mental struggles, she thinks that people are going to use them against her as if her mental health...
No, Finvara, I believe high functioning refers to not needing aid. It's to do with, living your life without requiring help, I think.
makes her the more guilty party. And again, in my opinion, I think that this is wrong. Hina obviously is very hard on herself. It breaks my heart. It really does. I think this reflects worse on Pierogi than it does Hina. Just add it to the list of reasons why I believe that the position he put her in was inappropriate given the circumstances.
If he tries to paint me as
she's a re. What do you mean? Maybe he couldn't tell.
tries to paint me as someone who's money hungry, the only thing I'm going to say is everyone wants money. No one works to not have money.
Right.
Right?
You worked your
work a
ass
job.
off to be able to prove yourself to him. Yeah.
I worked very
She worked her ass open.
hard. I worked really hard. I loved translating. I loved being able to help people. And I loved that this was something I could do that gave me a purpose to stay alive. Like, however little I did, it was helping people. I was constantly going in my head, going through my head and like, what can he paint me as to justify his end? So I just wanted to put that out before so I don't have to address it later.
You mean you were having a fantasy of getting more attention from him? You mean you were fantasizing about getting attention after he stopped talking to you? Nice.
Don't send any hate to P or Scammer Payback. I just want him to be held accountable. I don't even want the internet to hate him. I just want him to be held accountable. Maybe,
what does that mean?
Get some help for his issues. I mean,
get some help for your issues? He did. You quit. What do you mean? Held accountable for drinking? It's not, and for cheating, it's not my relationship.
I'm a prime example of you wanting to be cautious about the people you keep around.
100%. I could not agree with her more. I could absolutely not agree with her more.
Screenshotted stuff. He trusted me. I screenshotted conversations that were supposed to be private.
I think a lot of people in your situation would have done the
Yeah, and the screenshots owned you. What do you mean?
same thing.
I genuinely didn't think I had a screenshot about the boob job because I really wanted to bring that up because he really wanted my body to be the way he wanted it. He wanted me to get like a landing strip, get my like hair in a landing strip, and like the boobs, and he wanted me to get like color my hair purple and stuff like that. Like, he really wanted to make me into some kind of person.
Wait, is her hair purple now? Is it dark? Is that just reflection from her clothes? You see the purpley bit on the right?
That.
And just to clarify, like, you guys have never met in person either, right? This was all over the internet. Mm-hmm.
This is all over the internet. I just hope this gives the courage to other people to leave their abusive job.
Can I describe the success of this cancellation/expose attempt in MMORPG raid terms? The second they popped up a Discord log onto the screen, that was the Leroy Jenkins running in moment.
Don't turn into me. Don't become an alcoholic and drug addict just because you couldn't leave. Money will come back. It's okay. Starving is easier. Trust me. Starving is so much better than hating yourself every day and not wanting to live.
So I want to end this video by thanking Hina for mustering up the courage.
Yeah, she was smoking weed as well. Tell me you couldn't have just faked drinking? I don't believe you didn't want to drink.
Courage and the bravery to not only finally leave a job after 2 years that gave her financial security.
Yeah, wait, true. Half a pack of cigarettes worth of joints. I haven't smoked much weed in my life. I have a couple of times. Half a joint, I was out. Out. I went to sleep.
At the expense of her own personal well-being, but also for being brave enough to answer all of my questions.
Right.
And I didn't hold back. They were pretty difficult questions for her to answer.
Not
obviously, it took a lot for her to do this.
Really.
And she absolutely has my respect and my appreciation. As far as Pierogi goes, maybe he'll address this, maybe he won't. But I hope he just makes amends with his family and comes out of this a better person, a better Christian, if that's what he wants to keep pursuing in his life. Definitely a
What the hell? Is she religious? Why is that such a bone of contention?
better husband and a better father, a better family man, a better business owner. I just hope he's better after this. I hope that Scammer Payback as an entity, as a YouTube channel, as a business, does not suffer from this. I hope Pierogi's bad decisions don't cause the business to suffer. I hope the channel can continue doing the good, important, and impactful work that it does, and that it continues to be able to help victims of scams. I really do. I'm not—
Is this the just fans of this channel don't hate me spiel? Why even say this?
Not just saying that. This is one of the things I really struggled with when determining whether or not I wanted to make this video, because I don't want to see people who do important work have to end that work because of one guy's bad decision.
You believe that she was sexually abused as a vulnerable, disabled person, but you could have held back on exposing that because it might hurt the YouTube channel. I don't know if I don't believe her. I don't know if I don't believe that she thinks both those things, or if she is just a dementoid to that degree.
I have a personal investment in people taking down scams and helping victims of scams. I've literally built my YouTube channel on that in different ways, of course, with covering multi-level marketing companies and stuff, because those are definitely scams in different ways than call centers. So I do have a personal interest in seeing people who do this kind of work.
I really want to hear her expertise on MLMs. They are definitely scams, but in different ways than call centers.
Being able
So
to continue
eloquent.
doing it. I usually end my videos by thanking financial supporters by name, but this time around, I just feel like, given the nature of this video, it isn't the right time or place for that, but you all know who you are. You know that I love and appreciate you for everything you do. But that being said, I have every intention of releasing my extended interview with Hina to Patreon and for members only here on this YouTube channel. So if you are one of those people who are financially
You gotta pay for the exclusive tape.
supporting me, you will be able to watch the extended cut. Just know that all the really important stuff is here in this video. There's not any like new bombs being dropped, for lack of a better term. In the extended interview, I just want to be able to give something back here to those who support me. So, but even if you're not one—
Hina hates being turned into a commodity. By the way, if you want to see more of her suffering, sign up on my Patreon.
one of those people, thanks just for making it to the end of this video, for hearing Hina out, for hearing myself out, and I welcome the inevitable conversation that's going to be had around this situation. I recognize that there are going to be a lot of differing opinions on this. My only
Anyway, the videos she sent Pierogi are uncensored on my Patreon right now.
request is that we all just be chill with each other, be nice to each other in the comments while discussing this. I believe that this can turn into a productive conversation, and we can do that without being nasty to each other when we find other people who might think differently than we do. And that includes Pierogi, because again, we don't know his side as of right now. He might be able to explain away some of his behavior. So until he does, let's just not jump to any conclusions there, but feel free to have an open, honest, and respectful conversation with each other regarding the situation. Anyway, that's all for now. If anything else comes of any of this, I will keep you updated. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Hina. Thank you, viewer. Bye.
Should have said Tim. Okay. Hina's of raw screenshots. That's not something I want to see. Right. Should we look at this again real quickly? 3 hours ago. Savannah Marie, the woman who made this. Hi, in response... Because I thought something more relevant to this top comment would come up. In response to the many people who seem to be struggling in finding empathy, I dug up this research paper regarding gender roles in culturally Muslim countries. The study was done on 250 people living in countries like Hina. I sent it to Hina and had her read through it to make sure she relates to it, and she said for the most part it's accurate. Here's the study. They're saying Pakistan is a country like the one she's in. I'm an American citizen, so my geography isn't good. Some majority Muslim countries, such as Pakistan, prohibit the production, sale, and consumption of alcoholic beverages. Oh, either entirely or for its Muslim citizens. Okay, what about Pakistan, though? Oh no, you can buy alcohol in Pakistan. Pakistani women have to discreetly navigate the country's strict cultural and legal landscape to buy drugs and alcohol. So while drinking is legal, that would be a major source of judgment, which would make sense based on what she's saying, especially if she is there. But, alright, let's see what this is. If you don't feel like reading an entire study, at least see these 2 excerpts. I was just wondering about the alcohol and the drugs. First one is the brief at the top that summarizes the study's results. The society studied has constructed a model for women.
Ignorant_ donated
Thank
3
you.
pounds. GGX Blue Time Go.
Please, no. Never again. No, it's a Danish guy. Apparently alcohol is legal, but with restrictions. I said 3% of women there drink. The society studied has constructed a model for women that considers them objects without rights and autonomy. Women's subordination, a prerequisite to ensure compliance to the constructed model, is maintained through allocation of lesser resources, restrictions on mobility, seclusion norms, and even violence in cases of resistance. How does this pertain to her relationship with Pierogi? The model determines women's traits and responsibilities and establishes parameters for what is legitimate for women, and these have implications for their personality, lifestyle, and health, including their reproductive behaviors. I doubt living in a culturally Muslim country is what made her feel pressured by her role to start messaging some foreign guy to punish me daddy. I'm not seeing that here. Women have no right to make decisions. All decisions ranging from type of dress to marriage are made by the men of women's own family or the in-laws. So she was heavily breaking from cultural norms. She wasn't behaving like this. She was heavily breaking from cultural norms in doing what she did. From childhood, girls are informed, taught, and trained to believe that only men who are physically powerful and hence mentally competent to make decisions. She is counseled. If this does not work, she is forced through threats and violence to believe that she's... Pierogi didn't do any of this. And if she experienced that, she clearly wasn't, as a result of it, hewing to cultural norms. She was sending, like, lollipop suck-off videos. In cases where women challenge these patriarchal privileges and or seek to enforce their rights, violence is used as a means to control them, hence setting examples that reduce the instances of resistance. Is it like, oh damn, Pierogi didn't change her entire country's culture? What the f*** do you mean? I've understood that this power dynamic between men and women exists in this part of the world for as long as I can remember. And it seems as though I made the mistake of assuming everyone else understood it as well while making this video. But yeah, if you need a legitimate source that gives you some insight into why Hina may have behaved the way she did in these screenshots, I think this paper will help you shed some light on it. Your quote is about the men of her family or in-laws having control over her relationships. This is her, like, holding out to some guy on the internet. What the f*** are you talking about? Someone replies, anything else you want to desperately grasp onto? Oh... Alright, I'm gonna peep the Twitter off screen in case there's anything inappropriate there. Freelancer, true crime researcher. Are these fresh ones? Okay, it has her sucking on toys that I presume I can't show, so I'll be careful. For the most part, it's ostensibly just what was shown. I believe it is probably Pink Buddy being shown there. Oh, Durga Durka, thank you for the tier 1 sub to Scammer Payback! Jesus. What is this? I'll put it on screen. Savannah says, while Scammer Payback and their flying monkeys try to say Hina is an AI bot or a scammer plant, they are also mass reporting my video for misinformation and mass disliking it to suppress it in the algorithm. Please share. What? Okay, this is a good tweet. This is a good tweet. Honestly tired of reading all the comments everywhere. I shouldn't have read them to begin with. People believing Pierogi is the victim in all of this is just something else. I did everything I could to prove my side. I shared chats of me sexting and compromising images. Yeah, that was dumb. Oh. Speaking of the truth, one thing I see repeated constantly is that he withheld my pay. He never did. I was insecure, and that is just how I felt. You're done. The power dynamic doesn't matter then, because the idea is that you're scared that turning down your boss will have a material impact. She said it was down to her own insecurity in the video as well, and that she specifically said in the video as well that she never felt that from him. She killed that whole point. Alright, we have something else as well. Let me peep it real quick. Allegedly, Pierogi has claimed that she deleted many DMs. We'll see. I've been linked to a Savannah comment on some other video by some guy called EG Lately. Savannah Marie is the person who made that video. So it's someone critical of the accusation. Let's peep. So Savannah Marie says, "Oh, valid criticism, healthy skepticism. I don't know what this guy's saying. However, I really think you're not being empathetic to Hina, considering the obvious power imbalance and how Hina is an impoverished woman in a third world country. Not after being paid like that if she'd saved any of it instead of getting boozed up. Those of us who live in more privileged positions need to have more empathy for Hina. There's a lot of cultural differences involved as well. As far as being impartial, if I was trying to be manipulative, I wouldn't have shown their sexts, lol." Right. They obviously don't paint Hina as a perfect victim, and I shared them hoping to show there was transparency here. If we want to get into the hyper-autistic nitpicking, if the purpose of sharing them was to give the impression of transparency, then that is a tactic of manipulation of appearance, rather than making sure people had the relevant information if you were trying to create an air of transparency. Anyway. Wait, 4 minutes ago? Savannah on Twitter, disengaging from this platform for now. I'm remembering why I never started using it in the first place other than to tweet about Big Brother. Y'all toxic as fuck. They obviously don't paint her as a victim, and I shared them, blah, blah, blah. At the end of everything, Hina and many others like her do not have a voice. I was happy to give her one. A lot of criticism I'm getting feels like gaslighting. But I'm sticking with my decision to make this video. No matter how many comments of "you should have done XYZ" I get, I know I did the right thing. Also, I learned yesterday there's at least one other person who claims to have had a similar relationship with Pierogi, and I got to talk with them a little yesterday. I guess we'll just have to see. The teaser! The teaser! Amazing. And I think that's about it. There's one last thing, maybe, before I take a break to pee and get a drink. Savannah Marie. Is she getting lots of Wait. She has 834 followers on Twitter. It does appear to be her. Is there anything scuffed here? Seems safe for Twitch. 1 retweet, 1 like here. She has a thing where it's like, if it's the same comment from YouTube, 4 responses, including her own. 3 mods have officially left the Scammer Payback Discord server in the past couple of days. 1 was a huge financial supporter. I find this to be very telling. Mods? Maybe they just don't want to be smeared with that. How do you mean? Maybe they were friends with his wife as well. Who knows? If you are a paying member of Pierogi's YouTube, you're not allowed to speak your mind about the situation in the supporters chat anymore. You no longer have a place to speak your mind. This is controlling and weird. It's cringe. I strongly suspect that I could get her to delete my comments. Should have blurred the name. Okay, she exposed someone. Irrelevant. Nice. She's talking about flying monkeys on this platform, like people being toxic. She doesn't have hardly any responses. Before I view the replies, let me hide it, just in case there's or something. There's someone suggesting she's exaggerating or whatever. Someone says, I heard from the Vine that he reached her on Discord. Someone says, stop acting dumb and uneducated. Oh, but they're insulting Pierogi here. That's like, there's like hardly anyone even in disagreement with her. What does she mean? It's like, oh, it's a horrible, toxic place. Oh, man. I never get that. With accusations, the majority of people listen and believe. In this case, is no different. I don't know. I feel like sometimes what happens is, if there's one of these things and it gets exposed, there's very much a bandwagon effect, right? And if it gets caught by people who are going to be more skeptical early on, and they become a bigger mass faster, then the masses outside of them are more likely to also doubt. I think there's a sort of conformity numbers game as well, with each individual example. We'll see. We'll see. Wonder how it will drop. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole marriage becomes a massive problem for him, of more concern than Hina herself. And I'm gonna suspect that Hina doesn't have much for him to get out of her if he goes after her, right? Right. That is all for now. I hope you enjoyed today's dramas. But as usual, that's just another one of my Discord raids.